Hello everybody, welcome to HopTopics. My name is Matt.
I'm Kevin.
And here, this is where we talk about beer and movies.
And movies. And beer.
And beer.
And beer.
And movies.
And beer.
And movies. Today's movie that we're talking about is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
The beer we're talking about is the Dark Ailment. Stout from, what do they call it? Track 7 Brewing out of Northern California. But before we get to that, we got to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Classic children's book. What were you expecting going into this movie?
I was not expecting it to be good. I was expecting real low. I was real low expectations. I thought it was going to be corny as hell. Real bad. I thought it was going to be just another movie filled with jump scares. Just like something to, just another Hollywood cash grab, essentially. What about you, man?
Yeah, kind of agree with you there. I was not expecting much coming into this movie. Really just like B-flick, crappy special effects,
Yep.
But that being said, crappy special effects wise, it would have been a conscious decision because it's produced by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So really interesting fact there.
That was the one enticing fact about this.
That was probably the most
movie.
enticing fact besides the fact that I had the books as a kid.
Yeah. That too.
That.
Yeah.
But yeah, not really high expectations. Pretty like low to medium low.
Yeah.
Like I had a little bit of expectation coming from Guillermo.
Yeah.
But that was literally it. I just expected some really cool practical effects.
Yeah.
Which were delivered on.
Oh yeah.
I can't say. But yeah. So, what did you think about it?
I thought it was actually really good. Like scary movie wise, it's a general ghost stories. I mean, like it's not a terrible movie. It's definitely a step towards a different direction from most recent horror movies, which is really nice because they're all going for the same thing: jump scares and like creepy dolls, like haunted nuns, possessed nuns, like crap like that.
Yeah, found footage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just this is slightly different.
Yeah.
I mean, it
is still kind of along the lines of the how we're kind of getting into the retelling of classic tales.
Exactly. Which
with it being a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
And Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was obviously based off of the children's book, but yeah, I can totally agree that it's a little different than what you're expecting. It very much gives me a 90s vibe.
Oh, totally.
Like, going into that movie, I'm all like, am I on the Disney Channel or like Nickelodeon?
Am I watching
just
Afraid of the Dark or like Goosebumps?
Or even like Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt in some parts? Yeah.
I could totally get that.
Oh, totally.
It was, I don't know, it was cool and nostalgic for me in those parts, and I really liked it for that. So yeah, overall, I have a very positive feeling about this movie,
Oh yeah.
It's not like a, Grand Slam, night out of the park movie, but at the same time, it's a solid movie, and it'll give you some jump scares, it'll give you some, like, creepy images that might get stuck in your head here and there, which we'll get into a little later in our review, but, yeah, so, let's just kind of give a brief, like, what's this movie about? For those who haven't read the books, they don't really know, but there's actually an overarching story that connects all the stories from the books.
Kids find haunted house, go into haunted house, find book. Book tells scary stories.
Yeah.
That's the easiest synopsis that doesn't give away anything about this movie.
Yeah, that is the least spoilery synopsis I've ever heard of anything.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Good job. That being said, real quick, how do you want to rate it? Is this we're gonna go see this in theaters? We're gonna wait for the Netflix. We're gonna go around the TV.
Well, I'm kind of torn because like.
Is it gonna be?
I definitely recommend
like rated on demand.
Red box.
Hey, Brian.
I'm kind of torn because I definitely would like people to see it in the theaters because you get a little bit more of an in-depth feeling while you're in the theater than you do while you're at home.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's not that good of a movie to go see in the theater. So, I mean, like, if there's, like, a discount day or something like that where it's a little cheaper to go see the movie, I definitely recommend going seeing it then. If not, just wait and rent it. Because it's still worth a watch. It is definitely worth watching. That I have to say.
Yeah. My opinion is that if you're a 90s kid and you grew up with, like, Halloween Town and, you know, and all those classic 90s Halloween movies, I really wish this movie had come out around Halloween because it would have fit in perfectly. It would have been, like, one of those, you know, it seems like a binge-watchable movie, like, not something you necessarily want to spend money on, but at the same time, something that you'd still, like, want to watch.
Yeah.
You know, like, with friends or just, like, a goofy, you know,
exactly.
You know, campy movie marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like it for that. Yeah, if you're going to see it in theaters, wait for the discount day. It's definitely not a full admission price type of movie. But that being said, if you're a big fan of the 90s, like classic horror movies, like more the campy, kid-friendly style horror movies, this one's just like a little bit of a step up in terms of creepiness and like jump scares, and like a step down from like your actual like horror style movies. So, you know, based on that, did you read the books? You might want to see it in theaters. It was definitely, I definitely liked being in the theater and having the full sound and the big screen. I mean, I like going to see movies.
Exactly.
I love seeing movies in the theater for that exact reason.
Exactly.
I love the big sounds, the big screen, all the feelings and everything of actually being there. So, you know. But, sloppy segue into our beer for the week.
Yeah, our beer is
the Dark Ailment. It's from 7 Track Brewing up in Sacramento, California. Imperial Stout, 10.4%. We could only find it in the 16-ounce cans, so, you know, gonna run you a bit on a premium for price, but, man, if you like chocolate and beer, oh, dude, this is chocolatey. This is heavy and chocolatey, and it'll get you there in a can or two, that's for sure.
That's definitely true. It's got a nice heavy chocolate feel. Like there's definitely like notes of the coffee, like because it's a stout. But I mean, it's super heavy on the chocolatier side. Yeah. So it's more like taking a bite of like a dark chocolate bar than it is like
dark chocolate with like a dark chocolate truffle in the middle.
Yes.
Almost like
exactly.
It is just heavy chocolate. And that's like the main thing I get.
But I mean that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a bad tasting beer. No,
it's actually a very good tasting beer.
Yeah, it's a very good tasting beer. It's very heavy. And it's so good, so delicious.
It's really delicious. I thought I was gonna have trouble drinking this beer just because it was pretty heavy, but I'm making my way through it decently.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be I'd be further along if it were an IPA or something lighter. But, you know, being a stout, being 10.4%, having a full body feel, you know, you just gotta take what you can get. This isn't gonna be a chugging beer. This is a sipper. This is something that, unless you're one of us, you're not gonna just slam down.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a sipping beer. You definitely want to take it easy on these ones. These will creep up on you.
Oh yeah, 10
but they're like,
0.4%.
I mean, because like you get delicious flavor. It's super easy to drink, and like the percentage will definitely creep up on you.
Yeah.
So just.
And I feel actually, we let these chill for a pretty good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they came closer to like cellar temp, like that 45 to 55 degree temp, closer to room temp, it would really open up. You could probably get a lot more flavors, a lot more of that coffee caramel flavor to it, because you kind of get hints of that, but it's not super pronounced because the dark chocolate flavor is just so heavy. But man, this is a brewery I've never had before, and I'm super impressed with this stout. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna definitely look for stuff from them from now on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if they do stouts like this. I love stouts, so I'll definitely keep looking out for this brewery because they
hit the stout out of the park. So it was
totally
definitely good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start getting a little bit more into the decimals with our ratings because we seem to hit the 4 to 5 range pretty often.
Yeah.
We tend to pick really good beers for our videos.
We like beer.
In no small part to the fact that A, we like beer, and B, we kind of gear towards beers that we're most likely to like. So I'm gonna go a little bit more decimal system instead of 4, 4.5, or 5. I'm gonna go like a 4.8. 4.8 weird pale ghost ladies out of 5.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
On the cuff, man. You gotta come.
I'm gonna go 4.5. Really cute glasses girls. 4.5 glasses girls. Yeah, really cute glasses girls.
I can see you there.
Yeah.
I can see you there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me like that? Don't look at me like that.
I'm not gonna in that tone of voice.
No, exactly.
Anyways,
I heard
we are going into our spoiler review right now. If you have not seen the movie and you care about spoilers and such, turn away, pause it, come back later, do something else. You know?
Yeah, watch this after you see the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard beer to chug. Heavy.
Yep. So good though.
It's really tasty. Honestly, I might not finish the beer for this video. I might just like sit down and sip this one. It's really good, and I don't want to just chug it.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so the time period of the movie is set in 1968. During the whole Vietnam War thing.
During the draft.
During the whole election for Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that happens. The whole election, the second term for election for Nixon happens during this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it happens within 3 days? A span of 3 days, while they're trying to figure everything out. And yeah, I thought the time period really, really fit well with this movie. It really did. It just made everything a lot more believable.
Yeah. In terms of how the missing children things goes, and how one of the main characters is treated.
Yes.
Throughout the movie. One of the main characters, Ramon Morales. He's obviously Mexican, and he's in a small town. Mm-hmm. And one of the very first scenes is a cop pulling up, being like, "Hey, where you going? What are you doing here?
Hey, what are you doing in town?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just all okay, cool, let's lay in the, nice blanket of racism.
The racial undertone.
Let's get the racial undertone nice and thick right here.
I mean, you could also take that. You could also take that as a commentary on society as itself right now, with the whole racial undertones and stuff like that. But I mean,
True.
I don't think that's what they were going for. But it definitely.
I think it was more of a set in time.
Time
sort of
period
thing. Like,
establishment, yeah.
This is the late 60s, you know, small town America. It's expected.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
You know, not to diss on small town America. You know, just 60s, different time.
60s were a different time, definitely.
But yeah, so this guy just gets into town, you know, already runs into the local authorities, just trying to make his way through and, you know, just get to wherever he's going. It says he's following the harvest, you know, for work and stuff. So we get that, and then we get the bully character and his friends doing their thing as he's,
typical,
you know,
stereotypical jock.
Out of the Army Recruitment Center. And, you know, it just kind of goes from that to the main kids that we're following through the movie, preparing for Halloween. One of them doesn't want to go. One of them's preparing pranks. The other one's just preparing his costume.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one preparing his pranks is the one that kind of, you know, shoots the plot into what it ends up being.
Yep.
In that he fishes his own crap out of the toilet and throws it in the car of the bully.
Yep.
On fire. Right in his lap.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do something like that, but yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, yeah, we definitely wouldn't fish our own turds out of the toilet.
No.
So, no. Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Nasty.
That's nasty.
Oh, Peter, that's nasty.
But and then they find the haunted house, and that's where they find the book which starts everything.
Yeah.
And
so it's a book of scary stories that were told by an allegedly crazy woman who murdered children by poisoning them.
Yes.
So she allegedly had a book that was written in blood.
Because she didn't have any ink.
She didn't have any ink because she was trapped down in a basement cellar.
By herself.
Because
she was different.
Yeah. Albino.
Basically.
Yeah. That was the whole thing that they gave us. It was not any mental condition or anything like that, but just she looked different.
Yeah.
So, you know, that whole thing. I don't want to get too much into the story. I already spent a long time talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the monsters in the movie.
Monsters, yeah. Oh, yeah. The scarecrow, the missing toe, dead lady.
Red dot.
The red dots and the
pale lady.
The pale lady and the
jangly man.
Jangly man.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what was it? The doe tree walker or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. They shortened it to the Jangly Man, but it's...
Yeah, they shortened it to the Jangly Man, but he does save the lion just before he kills the sheriff by snapping his neck. Which was pretty brutal. Like, everything up to that point was, like, pretty tame. Like, albeit the scarecrow stabs the one kid through the stomach. That was pretty brutal. And he turns into a scarecrow after that.
Himself into
but a scarecrow, to just see a monster just straight up snap a guy's neck.
Yeah, that was
whoa. That's brutal.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that at first in this movie.
No. But so talk about the first monster, the scarecrow. That was actually pretty damn creepy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, like a lot of the monsters were really creepy. Like the dream, the lady coming down the hallway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was super unnerving.
Yeah. So first we get the scarecrow, and then that one's creepy in that like the kid just keeps walking through the cornfield and keeps ending up right where the scarecrow is.
Yep.
And the first time he passes by him, he's like, "Eat shit, Harold."
Yeah.
And then the second time he passes by him, he's like kind of confused.
Yeah.
And then the third time he passes by him, he's not there. And then he runs into him, and then he just like that.
Yeah.
And starts just like slow walking him, horror story, like freaking Friday the 13th style.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like slow walking towards him.
Yep.
And so, like, that's pretty creepy. And like the fact that he has that like weird leathery face with all the bugs crawling through and everything just kind of adds on to that layer of creepiness. So that story was pretty interesting. He ends up getting to the kid, stabbing him with a pitchfork.
Yep.
Like through the back into his stomach, just kind of brutal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely wasn't expecting that.
Yep.
And then the kid turns into a scarecrow. This is the bully.
He ends up turning into the scarecrow that he was...
That he hated.
That he hated so much.
Yeah.
Which is the big twist, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. That one felt more karmic than any of the other ones.
Oh, definitely.
All the other ones felt almost gratuitous to like what was happening to the character at large. But like that one in particular was a really good setup to like, oh, maybe it's like karmic justice and stuff like that. And then the second one, you're just like, oh wait, no, it's not that at all.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the toe. The toe one.
Yeah, the missing toe.
The missing toe.
Was it called the missing toe or the?
I think it was called the missing toe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like and that one is just more like that one. It's super weird. I mean, even the story is super weird. Like,
well, and it starts off that they're starting to see that like, you know, like the story's being written out in front of them, and so they see their friend's name in the book,
and they
immediately try and call him and like, hey, don't eat anything, as he's getting a bowl of stew that his mom says she didn't leave that there for him, but he's just like, well, somebody cooked it, so takes it out, pulls out a spoon, and his friend's like, don't eat anything, blah blah blah. He doesn't believe her at all.
He eats the toe.
He eats a necrotic toe.
He eats the toe.
Yeah, he puts that whole toe in his mouth.
It's so gross.
Oh, it's so gross. And then he like slowly pulls it out.
You can hear him like chew on like the nail and stuff.
Yeah.
And he pulls it out and just fucking drops it.
Like, super slow though. It was just like that super slow draw that was just all like,
exactly.
And then he flips out. And at the whole time was the girl saying like, "Who took my toe?"
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just all like, "The only person I hear her saying that is you. Like you're the only one saying that." And then he starts hearing it.
Yeah.
Outside of the walkie-talkies, and he just starts freaking out.
Freaks out. Yeah.
I mean, he was already freaking out because he just had a freaking toe in his
mouth. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But so he's runs upstairs, dives under his bed, and then you cut to like this corpse just like dragging through the hallway. Who took my toe?
Yeah, I mean, like,
and then we have like a few moments of nothing.
Yeah,
and he like looks around.
He looks around and doesn't see anything. And he crawls out. He doesn't see anything. He looks above his bed, like on his bed. He doesn't see anything, and like you don't see. Like, you see him from a certain angle, and that's when you know where the next thing is coming from. Mm-hmm. But it still got me.
Oh, yeah, it totally got me, too.
Yeah.
Right under the bed. Pulls him under. You get that quick shot of the zombified face.
Yep.
And, like, and then just, like, pulls him into the abyss. Like, we don't know where he's going. You see claw marks under his bed going into the wall, and he's gone.
Yeah.
And how was that?
Yeah, and then after that was the red dot. The red dot, yeah. Which, like, if you've read the red dot, it's super creepy anyway. So I mean, it's just like
especially if you hate spiders.
When you actually see it happening on the screen, it's just like, oh my god, no.
Yeah, no.
Oh no. And then after that is the dream, which is. Like, he dreams of this lady, this
red room.
Yeah, the overweight lady in the red room, saying that this is an evil place. You should flee. You should flee
Before it's too late. Right?
before it's too late. Yeah, and like the illustration that's in the book for this is super creepy.
Super creepy.
And then they made it into a 3-dimensional thing, and it is much worse.
It's so much worse.
worse.
It's this big, pale, white blob with beady, wide set black eyes and stringy black hair.
And just
and
a massive,
big, thin black smile.
It's like it's an inhuman thing that's it's just coming at you, and like no matter where he turns, it's just
still coming towards him.
Yeah.
And I was expecting more of a jump scare moment where he's going down different hallways, he's running away, and he's like, "Oh shit, she's right there. Ah, she's right there. Ah, she's right there. Ah, she's right there." And then I was expecting him to just turn around, and there she was, just like right in his face.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that because it kind of exceeded my
expectations. It would have taken away from the scene.
So
it would have taken away from the scene, like it just like this
of just how slowly she was moving,
impending doom that you
was just so slow.
You can't escape it. It's always there.
Yeah. And then he ends up getting swallowed by one of them. As 4 of them just all like hug him. Yeah, it's just creepy. It is really creepy.
I think that was the creepiest one for me, man.
Creepiest one, definitely that one. Best jump scare, definitely.
Was the big toe.
Then we get to move on to the campiest one, which is the Jangly Man.
Which is so funny. That's the whole setup for the whole thing is just like it was just hilarious.
Yeah,
I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, after their friend is taken in the mental asylum, they were in a mental asylum. You should have already seen this movie if you're watching this part, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, terrible commentary. Anyways, after they do that, they obviously get picked up by the police.
Yep.
Ramon gets found out to be a draft dodger, and
he's arrested.
And then Stella, the main character, is unwilling to, just leave.
To go home and leave.
Just go home
so
and leave.
she stays there, and that's when the Jangly Man comes that night. And he first his head falls through the chimney.
His head falls through the chimney, which is just like boom, shock, whatever.
And then he says the name of the title.
The name of the title, which is pretty lame.
Don't try. I can't remember. It's super weird.
Yeah. I read it earlier today, and I was gonna write it down.
Yeah,
I totally forgot to write it down.
It's super weird, but I mean, it's still super campy. It's super funny, but I mean, it's like, and you can't help but laugh because it's so funny.
It's so funny, and this is also darkest part where this guy assembles himself and then snaps the police chief's head.
Exactly.
And thankfully, there is a dog in the scene. Dog runs up before anything happens.
Yeah,
so
which is good because that's a difference
you don't have to worry about the dog.
That's a difference from the books, by the way.
Yeah. No, I would have been super upset if they killed the dog.
Yeah, well, don't read the book.
I did read the books when I was 8. But anyways.
But so they eventually get out. They go to the house, and they end up solving everything and fixing everything and making sure that everything is good and make it out.
Yeah, but in the process of that, they do go through one of the last stories, the haunted house.
The haunted house,
where Stella goes basically back in time, but becomes Sarah, who's the ghost,
who's writing all the stories, causing things to happen.
Yeah. And so. She promises to tell her story that, she's gonna, let everybody know the truth, even if people don't believe her.
Yep.
She's gonna tell everybody the truth.
Is she gonna do it anyway?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
It definitely ends on a note where they can.
Yeah.
Where they can open up to another sequel.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, there was a lot of stories in the book that where she was going through, like that you saw, that are already in books, like the scary stories to tell in the dark, that are already in there, which would be really cool to go back to. If you do a prequel to it, would be really cool,
but
because
we could either do like a prequel, going through how Sarah, basically killed her family.
Kill the family.
We could do a sequel covering even more of the stories, because what do they use? Like 5-6 stories from across the 3 books, and there's probably about 40 something more stories.
Yeah, they use like 4 or 5 stories, and there's definitely a lot more stories they can go off of, especially like
each book had over 25 stories.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, they can definitely go through each one, and it would easily make a movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially if they had the same pacing and everything, storytelling that they did in this one.
Yeah.
A prequel or a sequel to it. I mean, if they do both, it would probably be best. Because that way
would be pretty cool.
Because that way you could tell the story of the family.
To tie in to the main story, and then do a continuation of the main story where she's trying to find her friends.
She's trying to find her friends.
That were taken. Because we don't necessarily know that they're dead. We just know that they're gone.
Yeah.
And that's it's the biggest thing about this story. Is like, they set it up for a sequel, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Guillermo del Toro is still on board to continue doing this. I would like to see him a lot more involved. He did a lot of the practical effects, I'm sure.
A lot of the artistic work, definitely you can definitely tell.
Yeah, like you could see a lot of his style in some of the creatures. Not the Jangly Man, because that was almost all CGI. But everything else was all like practical effects and really cool, and actually like lended into like legitimately how scary it could be.
Yeah.
So. Oh, come on, man! We're about to cheers. Come on, you can wait. I've been waiting.
All right. That about wraps it up. So
we're wrapping it up because we gotta pee.
Yep.
Huh? Here's to you.
Here's to me.
Friends for life, we shall always be.
And if by chance we disagree,
well then, screw you. Here's
to me.
See you next time.
Cheers.